Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking into the disappearance of Amy Jo Wroe Bechtel. She went missing July 24th, 1997. She was only 24 years old. She was from Lander, Wyoming. She was 5'5" and weighed 110 pounds. She was last seen at a camera store in Lander, Wyoming, which I don't know if she was dropping off film or if she was buying a camera to take photos. Her vehicle was found along Loop Road in the Wind River Mountains above Lander. Her keys were still in the car, but her wallet was gone. Where was her wallet? Strawberry blonde hair, blue eyes, small scar on cheek, noticeably only when she's cold. Doesn't say which side of the face. She was wearing a tank top, shorts, and athletic running shoes. Contacts, a double band wedding ring worn on the left ring finger, and a Timex watch. And I'm going to show you this Jane Doe, which can't possibly be her, but when you look at the photo of her and then we look at the photo of the Jane Doe, the bangs, the above the eyes, around the eyes, the whole shape of the bottom of the face, and the whole shape of her face reminds me of her. She's absolutely beautiful, and especially the bangs and the way it's done. But this is 2 years later, and I couldn't imagine how it could be her. But we'll look at the clothing. Black spandex shorts, light-colored bra, and floral underwear on the body. One white Nike tennis shoe, size 7. And it talks about their a deformity, a slight deformity or swelling near the region of her right eye. I wonder if that would have been where that scar was. But it can't be her because it's 2 years later. Unless, I wonder if somebody took somebody and put them in the freezer for 2 years and then got rid of their body, if it would seem like it was a recent death. I don't know. Descendant may have been the victim of a traffic homicide, which also reminded me of her because I remember someone saying there was a truck speeding around in the area where she was. So I don't know. And this is 2 years later, so it can't be her. But if somebody had taken this young lady and would look at some other pictures of her and drew a Jane Doe after if they found a body and drew a Jane Doe, to me it would look similar to this. She's just absolutely stunning and beautiful. And it looks so much like her to me. And I just wanted you to see that. Because there were very few Jane Does that came up that were her height and her age. And I punched in 1997 and for some reason it came up. So I decided to include it because I just felt I could, so I did. Anyway, we're going to read about some more about her now. She's in Wikipedia. It said she disappeared July 24th, 1997, and we're going to skim through this. She was declared legally dead 2004. She's an American woman who disappeared while presumably jogging in the Wind River Mountains, approximately 15 miles south of Lander, Wyoming. I wonder if she took some pictures too. Despite extensive investigative work and media portrayals, her case remains unsolved. As of 2023, she was declared legally dead 2004 at the behest of her husband, rock climber Steve Bechtel. She was born Amy Jo Wroe in Santa Barbara, California. In 1972, she graduated from the University of Wyoming, where she met her husband, Steve Bechtel. Which, I'm like pretty positive that's in Laramie, Wyoming, which is a small college town. And you think of a place that has a college, and you think of areas around there where usually a bigger city or something. But this is just basically a small college town, and it caters to the students where they have jobs for the college students, a lot of jobs for the college students. And the college students fill those jobs. And it's just, and there's dormitories and things around the college. And basically, it's just a small college town. But it's got some really awesome things for visiting. You know, there's an old prison that had some famous people from the Old West that stayed there. They have some art museums and museums that like are old houses, and it's a lot of fun. It really is a great place. It's full of great people, and it's not that far from Cheyenne, Wyoming. So you know you can drive somewhere to go do something in a little bit of a bigger town. Anyway, in college, she was a competitive long-distance runner and hoped to try out for the 2000 Summer Olympics. Wow. On the morning of July 24th, 1997, she told her husband that she was planning on running several errands in town after teaching a children's weightlifting class at the Wind River Fitness Center. She stopped at Camera Connection, a photo store near her home, around 2:30 p.m. after teaching the class. Following her time at the photo store, she stopped at Gallery 331 where she spoke to the proprietor, Gary Wagner, who noted that she seemed hurried and repeatedly glanced at her watch during the conversation. That was the last confirmed sighting of her. After leaving the photo shop, it's believed that she drove to Shoshone National Forest to practice the course of an upcoming 10K run she was enrolled to compete in. According to an eyewitness driving on Loop Road through the forest that afternoon, a woman resembling her was seen running along the road wearing black shorts similar to those she had worn earlier that day. At 4:30 p.m., he returned home after having spent the day with a friend and found his wife absent. At 10:30 p.m., he called the police to report her missing. At 1 a.m. on the morning of July 25th, her car was found. A white Toyota Tercel was discovered parked on a turnout at Burnt Gulch in Lander. By 3 a.m., an extensive search for her was underway, as well with law enforcement, her husband, and the couple's friends and family. By July 27th, police were receiving roughly 1,000 calls a day with tips and potential leads. Additional various lakes and mines were searched with no results. Investigators initially believed she had fallen victim to the elements or possibly have been attacked by a bear or a mountain lion. However, they later suspected her husband after uncovering a series of his journals describing violence toward women and specifically his wife. Wow, that makes it sound like he may have been abusing her. Detectives interrogated him August 1st, 1997, falsely claiming to have evidence proving he had murdered his wife. In response, he terminated the interview. He later said the journals had compromising song lyrics he had written for his band and that they were unrelated to her or her disappearance. In 1998, local police stated that he was not a central suspect in the case, but they had wanted to clear him of suspicion in order to follow other leads, which they were unable to do after his lack of cooperation. He provided an alibi for the time of her disappearance, which was corroborated by friends who agreed they had spent the afternoon with him rock climbing. But it said he got home at 4:30. However, on the advice of criminal defense attorney Kent Spence, Steve refused to submit to a polygraph test. Additionally, a woman driving through the area from where she disappeared claimed to have seen a truck matching his in the area. In late August 1997, the FBI requested satellite photos from NASA of the area the day she disappeared, but the images provided no information. In January 1998, satellite image taken by a Russian space station were also obtained by the FBI, but they also revealed nothing of note. In June 2003, a Timex Ironman digital watch was discovered by a doctor hiking near Popo Agie River. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. It was turned into the police. It was noted to be similar to a watch she had owned at the time of her disappearance. However, law enforcement was unable to determine whether or not the watch belonged to her. In a 2007 interview with the Billings Gazette, the sheriff stated, "I believe it was a homicide, and I believe what happened to her on the day of disappearance. In my mind, there's only one person that I want to talk to, only one person who has refused to talk to law enforcement, and that's her husband." Delwayne Eaton, a convicted murderer on Wyoming's death row, has been cited as a suspect in the case. According to Eaton's brother, he had been near the area where she disappeared at the time. However, he's refused to discuss the case. Her case received significant media attention. On February 3, 1998, her husband appeared on the Geraldo Rivera show with her sisters, who pleaded with him to provide information regarding her disappearance. Wow, so he denied any involvement in her disappearance during the program. The case was profiled in People magazine and Outside, as well as television series Unsolved Mysteries. It was later profiled on the series Disappeared, and also was the subject of an extensive article featured in Runner's World. Her disappearance discussed in a book, The Cold Vanish. So there's a lot of places you could get follow-up information on it and look into it if you're interested. And this is the Charlie Project, who showed us photos of her. Said she was wearing a yellow or gold tank top, blue or black shorts, Adidas Trail Response sneakers, a Timex Ironman triathlon watch. Oh, that would have been hers then, wouldn't it? And a small double wedding band on her left ring finger. So that would have been her watch, probably. Did she leave it there on purpose? Her hair was shoulder length at the time of her July 1997 disappearance. See? That just looks like her to me. I know it's 2 years later, but it looks like me. I mean, it looks like her to me, and I don't know if she died. And I keep wondering, what if somebody kept her in the freezer, or I don't know. But it looks so much like her to me. Couldn't be her. It just seems impossible. It's just too far away. Anyway, this said she wears a size 8 shoes. And this person had a size 7 shoe. So even more reason why it can't be her. And her watch was found near that lake. She has scars on both shins and knees, a checker-shaped scar on her lower back, and a scar on her left cheek. Approximately half an inch by 2 inches in size. Scar is only noticeable when she is cold. It says she departed from Lander, Wyoming, apartment she shared with her husband, about 9:30 in the morning to run errands, purchase. She was at the local photo shop at 2:30 p.m. that afternoon. Employees at the store say she seemed to be in a hurry. Let's see, she left the business to check the course of the upcoming 10-kilometer run planned by her gym. She had been seen running along the loop road. A footprint similar to her sneaker was found there, but it was destroyed before police could attempt to match it. Amy is an avid runner. She was never seen again. He returned to their residence at 4:30 p.m. He had been socializing with friends and moving items into a new house all day. He was not initially concerned for her, but he summoned the authorities when his wife did not arrive home at 10:30. Amy's white Toyota station wagon was discovered abandoned. Her keys, her $120 sunglasses, her to-do list for the day were inside the vehicle, but her wallet was missing. There was no other sign of her. Investigators began focusing on her husband, searching his journals for possible clues to her whereabouts. He wrote about an apparent need for control in his journal and also penned an undated poem that revolved around murdering a person and then hiding the remains. A woman who was camping in the park on the day she was last seen told authorities she witnessed a truck similar to his speeding through the park during the early evening hours. So that makes me think he got home at 2:30 and she wasn't there and he went looking for her, right? But I don't know, maybe during the early evening hours. I don't know what time that would be, but the woman stated that she saw an unidentified blonde-haired woman in the passenger seat. It is not known if the incident is related to Amy's case or not. Was she alive at the time? Acquaintances of the couple gave conflicting statements about the relationship. Some described it was idyllic, but others stated that Steve was jealous and often belittled Amy and that her demeanor changed when she was around him. Steve's attorney advised him to stop cooperating with law enforcement and refused a polygraph test. He maintains he's innocent, believes that authorities focused on him due to lack of suspects and evidence in her disappearance. He was interviewed only once by authorities who refused to speak to them further after that. He remarried several years after she vanished and still lives in the house they purchased days before her disappearance. They purchased the house days before she disappeared. A suspect in her case is Delwayne Eaton, who presently the only inmate on Wyoming's death row. He was convicted in the 1988 rape and murder of 18-year-old Lisa Marie Kimmel. Investigators believe Eaton may be the so-called Great Basin Killer. The serial killer whom they linked was responsible for the murders of at least 9 women in Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and Nevada between 1983 and 1987. His brother claims Eaton was in the Lander area at the time Amy went missing. Eaton has refused to discuss her case and has never been charged with any other cases besides Kimmel's. Amy graduated the University of Wyoming in 1995. She is described as shy, quiet, disciplined, and goal-oriented. She enjoys rock climbing and amateur photography, in addition to running and hoping to someday be an Olympic marathoner. Her family continues to search for her, though her father died after her disappearance. And this is the Jane Doe that they found May 23rd, 1999, 5'5", age 20 to 40. I know it can't possibly be her, but it really reminds me of her. Descendant may have been the victim of a traffic homicide. Straight hair, unknown color of eyes, injury to the orbital of the right eye. Black spandex shorts, light colored bra and floral underwear, 1 Nike tennis shoe, size 7. And then there's the picture. So don't forget to pray for Amy's family and her loved ones. And don't forget to pray for this Jane Doe as well and her family and loved ones who don't know what happened to her. And so that it's just sad that this happened to this girl so young. She's only 24 years old. Anyway, please feel free to leave comments and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.